Prasthaya Bhutarashmi Swami Namni Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashat Destarine Namo Vishwadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutarashmi Tajay Pataka Swami Namni Nama Acharya Padaya Nita Prapadana Gauravata Thamadana Gurmatani Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasati Gaur Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna devotees, today is a very special day, Ekadashi, and we have all assembled here for glorifying Krishna and to hear the glories of Krishna. Okay, so let us continue from where we left last. Okay, so we are talking about the opulence of the Absolute, Vibhuti Yoga. So this explains about different representations of Krishna. I mean, just to indicate the greatness of Krishna, how great is Krishna, that we can understand by these representations. So far we have seen various representations of Krishna. Like Krishna explained that he is the super soul, he is the beginning, middle and end of all the beings. He said, who is he among Adityas, who is he among different lights, who is he among Maruts, and among the stars who he is, and who, among the Vedas who he is, and among the demigods who he is, among the senses who he is, among the living entities, among the Rudras, among the Yakshas and Rakshasas who he is, right? And among the Vasus and among the mountains, he said, I am Meru. This is interesting, okay, please note this. Stavaranam. So he says Shikarinamaham, sorry, Meru Shikarinamaham. Meru Shikarinamaham means Krishna is saying that among the Shikara, among the different mountains, he's saying I'm the Meru Shikara, which is the tallest and the biggest. There's no parallel to Krishna, I mean to this Meru Parvata. And among the Brihaspati, he says that among the priests, he said I'm Brihaspati. Okay, now that's where we are going to be continuing from. Okay, let's continue from here, devotees. So we are here right now. So I would like devotees to read the verse. Let's see who is ready. You can raise your hands if you are interested. I'll just call you out. Okay, verse number 24. Okay, who would like to recite this verse? Okay, you have to recite the verse, the synonyms, the translation, and the purport. Okay?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, can I read?
Yes, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna.
And when Mataji is reading, rest of you who are interested, please raise your hand so that it's easy for me to call you. Okay, just raise your hands.
Chapter 10, text 24. Purodhasam cha mukyam mam vidhi partha brahaspatim senani nam ham skandha sarsamasmi sagaraha. Purodhasam of all priests, cha also, mukhya the chief, mam vidhi understand, partha or son of Pritha, Brahaspitam Brahaspati, Senani Nam of all commanders, Aham, I am, Skandha, Kartikeya, Tarsam of all reservoirs of water, Asmi, I am, Sagara, the ocean. Translation by His Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Of priests, O Arjuna, know me to be the chief Brahaspati. Of general, I am Kartikeya, and of bodies of water, I am ocean. Should I read the purport also, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, yes, please.
Purport. Indra is the chief demigod of the heavenly planets and is known as the king of the heavens. The planet on which he begins is called Chandraloka. Brahaspati is Indra's priest, and since Indra is the chief of all kings, Brahaspati is the chief of all priests. And as Indra is the chief of all kings, similarly Skanda or Kaikaya, the son of Parvati, and Lord Shiva is the chief of all military commanders. And of all bodies of water, the ocean is the greatest. These representations of Krishna only give hints of his greatness. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you very much. So He's saying, among the priests, I am Brihaspati. So before we proceed, let's do one thing. In this chapter, whenever we are hearing one glorification here, right? So we have to remember a pastime of Krishna. Okay, somehow we should remember Krishna, some pastime of Krishna, something like that. Okay, that's how we will proceed. So let us see this. I'm sharing my screen. So first of all, he's saying, so we saw Meru Shikaranam. Yeah. Purodasham cha mukhyam mam vidhi partha brihaspati. Purodasham means a priest. Okay, partha means Arjuna. So he's saying, I am the mukhya purohita brihaspati. Right? You see, in the previous days, there used to be kingdoms. Right? And every kingdom, there'll be a Raj Purohit. Right? There'll be a royal priest, okay, who will be guiding, okay, how everything has to be managed. That is called as a Raja Purohit. Right? Just like Chanakya, we know, right? Chanakya. Like that. Like how Ikshvaku dynasty, there was one Purohita. You know who it is? Who is the Purohita?
Vashishta.
Vashishta, right? Vashishta, right? And like that, so every king is guided by this great people. So the king of all the demigods is guided by Brihaspati. So Brihaspati, very great, because he is the chief of all the demigods, that are the priest of all the demigods. He is the priest of all the demigods. So who is Brihaspati? Brihaspati is the son of Angirasa, and he's the son of Shraddha. So it's Angirasa Muni and Shraddha, and he became the guru of the Devatas. So he's the preceptor, he's the guru of the Devatas. And do you know who is the guru of the Asuras?
Shukracharya.
Shukracharya. And also there is one more pastime that happens that, there's a story which is mentioned in the Devi Bhagavad Puran, that Brihaspati's wife Tara was abducted by Chandra. Okay. And then they had an illicit son. And that son is Buddha. Okay. And also Brihaspati is the father of Bharadwaja Rishi. Okay. So he's the father of Bharadwaja Rishi. So this is about Brihaspati, and one important pastime that we can remember when we think of Brihaspati is, one day Brihaspati was disregarded by the Indra. So one day what happened was Brihaspati came inside the court of the demigods, and Indra did not stand up. He did not pay respect. Now, he did not take notice. He neglected him. Actually, it's very wrong, because when the spiritual master comes, when the guru comes, you are supposed to be standing up and paying obeisances. Okay, but he did not stand up, and as a result of that, Brihaspati was upset, and he wanted to teach Indra a lesson, and he leaves that place immediately. And as soon as Brihaspati leaves, the Devatas become very weak. Okay, and as soon as the Asuras realize that now these Devatas are no longer guided by Brihaspati, they take that opportunity and they come and they attack and they steal the kingdom of Indra, and they make Indra completely destitute. So they will chase away Indra and all the Devatas from their Swargaloka. See what happened. If you don't respect the spiritual master, if you don't respect the guru, it's a very bad thing. This is a very important pastime from Srimad Bhagavatam. Indra did not respect his spiritual master. Okay, for some time he behaved very proudly, and because of the neglect of guru, he lost all of his heavenly opulences. Okay, very soon, and the Asuras took over. So afterwards, Indra had to do a lot of things to get back his kingdom. Okay, so this pastime we will continue. Okay, there's a big pastime that happens afterwards. It continues to Vrittasura, and he does a lot of. Indra does so many different attempts, and finally he gets back his kingdom. Okay, so we will see. We'll continue here. So the point is, Brihaspati is the priest, chief priest. Okay, the next one is Senaninam aham skandaha. Skanda. Okay, Skanda is Kartikeya. So, do you know who's Kartikeya?
Lord Shiva and Parvati's son.
Lord Shiva and Parvati's son. So, there is a very nice description. Okay, so first of all, let me tell you what is his position, what is his post. So, he is the Senanina Maham Skanda, Senanina. Now, among the generals, military generals, we speak about different military generals, right? So, the demigods, the Devatas, they have got a military general. And their military general is Skanda or Kartikeya. Okay. And there's a very interesting pastime of how Kartikeya was born. Okay. So Kartikeya is born Lord Shiva. Right. So this pastime comes in the Valmiki Ramayana. Right. So comes in the Valmiki Ramayana. So this Kartikeya can, he can fight with around millions and crores and crores of almost like he can fight with crores of soldiers at once. There's called Ati Maharathi class. Okay, there are different types of classification. Maharathi, Atirathi. He's Ati Maharathi. That means he can fight simultaneously. He can fight with 20 crore soldiers at once. That is his prowess. That's how much powerful he is. And Kartikeya, the story comes from the Valmiki Ramayana. How there was one asura called Taraka. Okay, Tarakasur. Okay, Tarakasur had to be killed. The Tarakasur had a very unique boon. He took a boon that I will be born, I will be killed only by the son of Lord Shiva. Right. So at that time, so he said, I'll be born by son of Parvati, like that he says. So there's a pastime that happens that the Devatas will go and they'll try to disturb Shiva and Parvati when they were in their union. Okay, and then the semen of Lord Shiva is taken and it is put in one place. And then from there, Kartikeya is born. Okay. So it is deposited, it is carried by Agni, first of all, and then it is deposited inside the Ganges. Okay. And then it is placed inside Gokarna mountain. So a six-faced child comes out of that. Okay. And so Kritikas, there were some people called Kritikas, they nurse this child. Okay, they feed milk to this child. That's why he is also known as Kartikeya. Okay, so he is Skanda Kartikeya. So Krishna is saying Senaninam aham Skandaha. So I told you he is Ati Maharathi. So he is very, very powerful at in a war. Okay, so whenever there is a war between the Devatas and the Rakshasas, Asuras, the general is Kartikeya. And then it's here we have next one is Sarasam Asmi Sagaraha. Of all the bodies of water, I am the ocean. Okay. Now, how many of you have seen an ocean? A lot of you. And when you see the ocean, what is the feeling that you get when you look at the huge ocean in front of you? What is the feeling that you get?
What a wonderful creation of Lord.
Yeah, you feel what a wonderful creation. This is so huge, isn't it? You feel this is so big, right? So this is like the opulence of Krishna. Sarasa Masmi Sagaraha. So ocean is the greatest among the bodies of water. There can be different types of bodies of water, right? Lakes, rivers, etc., etc. Ocean is obviously the biggest and the greatest. So this is a representation of Krishna, right? Sarasam Asmi Sagara. Also there is Sagara, there is a Samudra Deva, who is the god of the ocean, right? This god of the ocean, there is a very interesting pastime with the Lord. Okay, anybody remember which pastime is that?
Varuna, no, Prabhuji?
Varuna is with Krishna, but in another incarnation of Krishna, we have a very interesting, notable pastime of Saga.
Prabhuji, Rama,
Yes, Rama pastime. What is that pastime?
when they made like bridge on the to reach Sri
Yes.
Lanka.
Yes. So before that, before building the bridge, what happened? There was a conversation that happens between Lord Ramchandra and Saga.
Yes, Prabhuji. Because ocean was not ready to give way
Yeah.
to.
Ocean was not ready to give the way. So what happens is Lord Ramchandra, with the help of the monkeys of Sugriva, he comes to the coast of India. Okay, now he has to cross the ocean and he has to go to Lanka to get Sita. Now, so he waits there, he meditates and he worships Sagara, and he respectfully waits and peacefully waits for him to come, but he doesn't appear. So Lord Rama loses his patience and he says, I've been very patient and tolerant with you now. See what I'm going to do now. Yeah. So
3 days he was praying to ocean, and still he did not agree to give way.
Your voice is a little low. Can you speak a little louder?
3 days he prayed to ocean, requested for 3 days, and ocean.
He prayed for 3 days, but he didn't appear. The sun, the Samudra or the ocean god did not appear, did not cooperate. Right? So Lord said, now see what I'm going to do now. With my arrows, I will dry you up. I'll completely make you come out of your place. So then Samudra immediately appears, right? And he falls on his knees and he prays to Lord Ramachandra that, my dear Lord, please do not be angry on me. As you know, by the laws of the nature, I'm like this, I'm supposed to be like this, I cannot be giving you way, but I can cooperate with you in a way that if you're going to be constructing a bridge, I'll make sure that the bridge will float. So that's how Sagara will cooperate, right? So this is how we have to remember Krishna in every possible way. So, first we started with Bruhaspati. I told you the pastime of Bruhaspati, disrespected by Indra, and Indra lost his kingdom. And then I told you the story of Skanda, Kartikeya, the birth, how he was born. This is mentioned in the Valmiki Ramayana, okay, how Kartikeya was born. There's also one interesting Purana called Skanda Purana. Among all the Mahapuranas, Skanda Purana is the largest Purana. It has got 60,000 verses. Okay, and interestingly, in Skanda Purana, there's a nice chapter also called as Vasudeva Mahatmya. Okay, so where there's a great glorification of Lord Krishna in the Skanda Purana. Okay, where Skanda, he says that there's a discussion between Skanda and Lord Shiva. Skanda is a pure devotee of Krishna. Okay, and he explains about why is it very important for everybody to worship Krishna. Okay, whether somebody wants to do karma kanda or whether somebody wants to get liberation or whether somebody wants devotional service, everybody must worship Krishna is what Lord Skanda explains in the Skanda Purana. Also in Tamil Nadu, there are a lot of devotees of Skanda, they call Muruga, right? Okay, that was about Skanda, and we saw the ocean god, Sagara. I explained you the pastime of Lord Ramchandra, like and Samudra. And also there is another interesting Leela, Samudra Mantana Leela, right? So also we see that, for the Samudra Mantana Leela we will discuss, okay? There are many things that came out of Samudra Mantana Leela. Lakshmi also came from that Samudra Mantana Leela. We'll discuss that also. Now let's go to the next verse. Devotees who wants to read this? Vedaspurti Mataji, yeah, please go ahead. Komala Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yes. Maharshinam Drukaraham Giram Asmekam Aksharam Yagnanam Japa Vigna Yagnosmi Stavaranam Himalaya. Synonyms: Maharshinam, among the great sages; Bhruguhu, Bhrugu; Aham, I am; Giram, of vibrations; Asmi, I am; Ekam Aksharam Pranava Yagnanam of sacrifices, Japa Yagna, chanting, Asmi I am, Stavaranam of immovable things, Himalaya, the Himalayan mountains. Translation by Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Of the great sages, I am Bhrigu. Of vibrations, I am the transcendental Om. Of sacrifices, I am the chanting of the holy name Japa. And of immovable things, I am the Himalayas. Purport. Brahma, the first living creature within the universe, created several sons of the propagation of various kinds of species. Among these sons, Bhrigu is the most powerful sage. Of all the transcendental vibrations, Om, Omkara, represents Krishna. Of all the sacrifices, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, is the purest representation of Krishna. Sometimes animal sacrifices are recommended, but in the sacrifice of Hare Krishna, there is no question of violence. It is the simplest and the purest. Whatever is sublime in the worlds is a representation of Krishna. Therefore, the Himalayas, the greatest mountains in the world, also represent him. The mountain named Meru was mentioned in a previous verse, but Meru is sometimes movable, whereas the Himalayas are never movable. Thus, the Himalayas are greater than Meru. Thank you for the opportunity, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Marci. Thank you very much. So, first of all, it says, of all the sages, I am Bhrigu. Maharshina Bhrigur Aham. Bhrigu Rishi is very, very special. Let's see how special Bhrigu Rishi is. He's a mind-born son, Manasaputra of Brahma, Brahma Manasaputra. That means he's born from mind of Lord Brahma. And there are two pastimes with respect to Bhrigu Rishi, which we can remember from Srimad Bhagavatam, right? So one pastime of Bhrigu Rishi is that in Daksha sacrifice, fire sacrifice, he took the side of the Daksha, right? He took the side of Daksha, and he, I mean, not really, but yeah, he was like really insulting towards Lord Shiva, Bhrigu, right? And he was therefore punished also by the assistants of Lord Shiva, right? So that's what happened during the Daksha Yajna, fire sacrifice, right? Daksha Yajna we have spoken about. Also, another famous pastime of Bhrigu Rishi, that one day the rishis were all discussing, they were doing fire sacrifice, and they were discussing that we are worshipping the Trimurtis. We understand that Trimurtis are meant for creation, maintenance, and destruction, but we want to understand who is the greatest among these three. Okay? So then Bhrigu Maharshi says, the greatest person is one who is very tolerant. The most tolerant person is the most greatest person. So we have to test their tolerance. So this sage Bhrigu, he goes to Brahmaloka, and he what he does is he mentally insults his father, Lord Brahma. Okay, he mentally insults him. And Lord Brahma becomes upset and angry on him. Okay, and he decides that no, Lord Brahma is not the greatest of the Trimurtis. He goes to Kailasha and he verbally abuses Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva takes his Trishula to kill Bhrigu. So at that time, Parvati stops him. So at that time, Bhrigu decides that no, Lord Shiva is not the greatest among the Trimurtis. And he goes to Lord Vishnu now. Now he goes to the third level. First was mental, second was verbal. Now he goes to physically. When Lord Vishnu was with his wife Lakshmi, very intimately, Lakshmi Devi was doing service to his lotus feet. At that point of time, he comes and just kicks on the chest of Lord Vishnu directly, without speaking anything. And Lord Vishnu is not at all upset on him. he immediately becomes very alert and he receives Bhrigu Rishi very nicely. He receives him, gives him a seat, washes his feet, and sprinkles that water on his head and speaks in very sweet words to Bhrigu. Okay. So then Bhrigu decides that, Vishnu is a supreme personality of God. He's a superior to all the, he's the root of all the Trimurtis, right? He's the Adidev. So he decides that. So that's the pastime, that's a very famous pastime of Bhrigu Rishi. Okay. So let's go to the next one. So that was about, yes.
Prabhuji, when he was aware that he is the ultimate Lord Vishnu, so why he hit on the chest of Lord, and why he was envious to him?
Why he was envious to
Lord Vishnu.
Come again, please. Your voice is breaking. Sorry, Prabhuji. What's your question?
I'm saying why he was envious to Lord Vishnu. Sorry, my network is.
Why he was envious to Lord Vishnu? He was doing a test. So it was a part of his test. So he was doing a test. Who is the greatest among the Trimurtis? So as a part of that test, he did that. But of course, that was very big offense. I mean, any offense towards the Lord is very bad. So, but he's forgiven for his offense by the Lord. Okay, so afterwards there's a big pastime also that happens. Lakshmi Devi leaves from the Vaikuntha and she descends down to the material world, and then Lord Vishnu descends down in the form of Balaji. Okay, it's given in the Skanda Purana, right? Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Welcome. So, okay, let's go to the next one. What is the most important one? Next is very important for us. We're going to be talking about two important things. What's that? Giram asmi ekam aksharam. Giram asmi ekam aksharam. Giram asmi ekam aksharam. Gira means sounds. There are many sounds, vibrations, different kinds of sound vibrations are there. But this pranava or the omkara, the vibration om, is very special, okay? It's a spiritual vibration. There's a great glorification about this omkara. It's called the primeval vibration, omkara. It's called primordial sound. In the Vishnu Purana, it is said that Om is the ruler of all sounds. And it is the essence of all the mantras, Omkara. Right? And it is even in the Agni Purana and the Vamana Purana that any action done without, any action done with Om is complete. And neglecting to chant the Omkara is sinful. Okay? That is given in the various Puranas. Okay? Om is very, very special sound. Okay, Om also represents the Nirakara, Brahman. That is the Brahma Jyoti. It represents the Brahma Jyoti. Omkara represents the Brahma Jyoti. And to also tell you another interesting pastime about Omkara. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came to Jagannath Puri, right? So when he came to Jagannath Puri, there was one great Pandit there called Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya. Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya, he was a very well-known Pandit. He used to even train sannyasis also. And he was very famous in Mayavad, Advaita philosophy. So what happened was that now the interesting encounter that happens between Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very interesting. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a sannyasi who comes to Jagannath Puri. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he sees Lord Jagannath, he becomes unconscious. And when he becomes unconscious, Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya happens to see that some sannyasi has fainted. So he says he looks like a sannyasi who is fainted. Okay, and he tells his servants to bring him to home. So they carry Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to home. And Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya starts to examine that what has happened to the sannyasi. And after examination, he remembers that this person is under Mahabhava. there's different levels of prema. I mean, I've only read about this in textbooks, but this person is in some kind of a different kind of a state, which I've only read in textbooks. I'm very amazed to see this person in this state. After some time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wakes up, and then there is a nice exchange that happens between Sarvam Bhattacharya and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that, and they discover that there's a relationship, there's some kind of friendship, village friendship. I think Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's grandfather and Sarvam Bhattacharya's father were classmates, if I remember. Okay, so there's some connection that they discover. And then later he says, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, you are like, you are my protector. Okay, he says, you have to guide me. You are my guide. So please guide me, like that he says. And Sarvam Bhattacharya also is very happy. He says, yeah, I'm going to teach you Vedanta. If you are a very young sannyasi, you have to be very careful about Maya. Maya can strike you. So that's why I'll teach you Vedanta. So he's an expert in Advaita Vedanta, right? So he says, I'll teach you that. Come. So every day Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will come and very duly sit down. And he will sit down below. And Sarvam Bhattacharya says, no, don't sit down. You are sannyasi. Sannyasi means guru. You cannot sit below. He says, no, but you are teaching, so I should sit down. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sits down. And then Sarvam Bhattacharya starts to speak Vedanta Sutras, okay, with the commentary. And then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is intently listening. But there is no response from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay. So it goes on for 7 days and there's no response. Sarvam Bhattacharya says, dear sannyasi, I don't understand whether you are understanding or not understanding, because I don't see you are not responding anything. How do I know whether you understand or not? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, see, I understand Vedanta perfectly, but whatever you are presenting, right, is completely misrepresented. You're trying to simply cover, okay, the truth. You're trying to give indirect interpretations of whatever is there. But interpretation on top of interpretation. Continuously you're doing that. Okay, you're doing word jugglery. You're not teaching Vedanta. He says, okay, you teach me Vedanta. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu starts to speak Vedanta. And Sarvam Bhattacharya becomes shocked when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaks Vedanta in the Bhakti Vedanta, Krishna-centric Vedanta. Sarvam Bhattacharya is shocked. And then there's a debate that happens. There's a beautiful debate that we'll have to see, okay? The debate between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sarvam Bhattacharya, how they will tell point and counterpoint, point and counterpoint. One of the counterpoints that Sarvam Bhattacharya says is, see, all the Vedas are summarized by 4 Mahavakyas. So the 4 Mahavakyas conclude that the absolute truth is impersonal. To that, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu responds and says that there is only one Mahavakya in the Vedas. That is Omkara. That's the answer of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He says, there's only one Mahavakya of all the Vedas, that is Omkara. So that's why I told all of this past time. That this Omkara is very, very special for all the Vedas. Okay, the Omkara is the most special. You see, there cannot be any Vedic literature without beginning or ending with Om. Everywhere it's Om. Right? Pranava Sarva Vedeshu, Krishna is explaining. Omkara is such a special Vakya or special mantra. Now comes the most important one for us. Okay, what's this? Yajnanam Japa Yajñosmi. Of all the sacrifices and the chanting of the holy names of Krishna, Japa. Now there are different kinds of fire sacrifices, right? There is Agnishthoma Homa. We have the Vajapeya Yajna. We have Putra Kameshti. So many different types of homas, right? So Ashwamedha Yajna. So different kinds of, all of these are described in the Vedas. Okay. So in the earlier days, before Lord Buddha came, everybody were performing these fire sacrifices at their home. Or especially the kings used to perform very diligently. Almost every single day, they will perform a fire sacrifice. Okay. And as a part of the fire sacrifice, there is also sometimes it is recommended that there is a animal sacrifice that has to happen. Okay. So, but this is very interesting because Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which is Japa Yajna, Yajnanam Japa Yajñosmi, Krishna is saying, among all the yajnas, among all the fire sacrifices, the best is chanting of the holy names of Krishna, Japa Yajna. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada writes, it's a purest representation of Krishna. And there is no question of any violence. It is the simplest and the purest. So whatever is the most important in every world is a representative of Krishna. So Japayagnya, it is said that Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama iva kevalam. Kalo nastyeva, nastyeva, nastyeva gatiranyatha. The Kali Yuga, there's only one thing that is effective, Hare Nama. And it's the only thing that's effective, Harinam. Okay? Everything else becomes very ineffective in Kali Yuga. Okay, that's why so much of stress Prabhupada has given and all the acharyas have given on the Japa Yajna, chanting of the holy names of Krishna, especially the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Right? That's about this. So I'm going to ask you at the end of the class also, very important. So what is the best among all the fire sacrifices? Yajnanam Japa Yajñosmi. The different types of fire sacrifices Krishna explains in the 4th chapter, if you remember, okay? Dravya Yajna, Tapo Yajna, Yoga Yajna, and Swadhyaya Yajna, right? And Brahmachari Yajna, Grihastha Yajna. He explains about different types of yoga, pranayama yajna, different types of fire sacrifices he explains. And here in this chapter, Krishna is saying, among all the yajnas, I am the chanting, Japa Yajna. Sometimes some people ask, where did Krishna say chant Hare Krishna in Bhagavad Gita? Okay, this is one of the verses where Krishna said, chanting of the holy names is the best. Okay, next. The next one is Stavaranam Himalaya. So of all the immovable things, I am Himalayas. Right? We saw Meru Shikarinam Aham. Among the Shikarinam, Krishna said is Meru. Among Stavaranam, he said Himalaya. Now what is the difference? Himalayas are Stavara. They don't move. Okay, they are fixed, immovables. But it is said that sometimes Meru can also move. Meru, the mountain Meru can move, but Himalaya does not move. Right? So that is about Himalaya. Okay, and we all know Himalayas are very, very pure, and it's very sacred for those people who follow the Sanatana Dharma. We have so many wonderful places there, the Gangotri, and so many dhams there, you see, which are there, like Rishikesh, etc. are there. And then we also know very important pastime, right? Himavan, right? Himavan, the personification of Himalayas, he's father of whom? Who is he father of? He's father of?
Parvati.
Parvati. So that's why it's called Haimavati. Like Haimavati, she's called Haimavati because she's a daughter of Himavan. Also, she's called Parvati because the word Parvati comes from Parvata. So because she's a daughter of Parvata, Himavan Parvata. So that's why she's called as Parvati, like that. Okay. So it's Himalayas. So Himavan is a devotee of Shiva, right? And let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next verse. Hare Krishna. Yes, please go ahead. And who wants to read this? Sonia Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Danvat Pranams.
Pranams.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ji ki jai. Text 26. Ashwatha sarva vrakshanam devarshidam cha naradaha gandharvanam cha chitrarathas siddhanam kapilo munihi. Synonyms: Ashwatha, the banyan tree; Sarva Vrakshanam, of all trees; Devarshinam, of all the sages amongst the demigods; Cha, and Narada, Gandharvanam, of the citizens of Gandharva planet; Charitratha, Siddhanam, of all those who are perfected. Kapila Muni, Kapila Muni. Translation. Of all trees, I am the banyan tree, and of the sages among the demigods, I am Narada. Of the Gandharvas, I am Chitraratha, and among the perfected beings, I am the sage Kapila. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the opportunity.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So of all the trees, I am the banyan tree. Ashwatha Vrikshanam. Okay, we can see here. Banyan tree is one of the highest and the most beautiful trees. And people of India worship it as one of their daily morning rituals. Okay. Even in the Nectar of Devotion, Rupa Goswami writes that it's one of the 64 angas of bhakti. Okay, there are 64 limbs of bhakti. And to worship these holy trees is one of them. Okay. It's one of the 64 angas of bhakti. Ashwatha Vrikshanam Ashwatha Vrikshoham. Okay, and then now very important. Now says Devarchinam cha Narada. Okay. So how do you connect Narada with Lord's pastimes? Or Bhagavatam? What is the connection between Narada and Bhagavatam? Narada, what's the connection between Narada
Taking
and
the spiritual master to
Vedas.
Dhruva, then Prahlada, then who else?
Chetas? Huh?
All the devatas, Prabhuji.
Yeah, and the sons of Daksha, like yeah,
Sons of Daksha.
and he plays his role when he plays his role to
Prachetas, I don't know, Prachetas.
the sons of the Daksha, 10,000 sons of Daksha. He was a spiritual master for them. Okay, and yeah, Narada is such a great personality, right? And we are all very fortunate because the disciplic succession in which this Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya is there, Narada is one of the spiritual masters of this. Okay, very unique Sampradaya where Narada is one of the spiritual masters of this Sampradaya. And
he also, Prabhuji, he arranged for Bhagavatam, delivery of Bhagavatam for to personified bhakti so that
yes,
Jnana and Vairagya regain their what do you call energy or rejuvenate them.
right. That's right. That's right. So yes,
Prabhuji,
yes, please.
is the Narada the one instructed Vedavyasa to write Bhagavad?
Yeah, that's right. You're right, Prabhu. Narada instructed Vyasdev to write Bhagavatam.
The Bhagavatam.
So the reason why we have Bhagavatam in the form that we have today is Narada. And what about Ramayana? What about Ramayana?
Yes, Narada only.
Valmiki.
Valmiki Muni.
Yeah. So what happened? Yeah. It all starts that Valmiki Ramayana starts with Narada, okay, appearing in front of Valmiki. And Valmiki is asking, okay, who is there in the current present world who has got the 16 qualities? That's the question asked by Valmiki. Then Narada starts to answer that it is Lord Ramachandra, and he answers and he gives the entire Ramayana in a very short form. Like, and he says, go ahead and write this Ramayana. Right? That's how Narada gives instructions. So Ramayana or Bhagavad, right? And he's like the spiritual master of Prahlad Maharaj, Bhakta Shiromani Prahlad Maharaj. Okay, when he was in the womb of his mother, Kayadu, Narada was a spiritual master, isn't it? He was giving instructions, right? And who was the spiritual master? Dhruva Maharaj. When Dhruva Maharaj was a little boy who was in the forest, who instructed Dhruva Maharaj to perform the austerities?
Narad Muni.
Narada Muni.
Yes. So that's what happened. And so many different pastimes. And what are the pastimes with respect to Krishna? What are the pastimes with respect to Krishna, Radharani? There are so many pastimes, right?
Sons of Kuvera. Nalini.
Nalkuvera pastime, yes. What else? When he expedited the birth of Krishna, how?
Instigating Kamsa to kill the other children.
Yeah, he instigates Kamsa to kill the 6 children.
David.
The
Yes.
6 children of Devaki, but we should not be mistaking that. See, first of all, the 6 children of Devaki are all cursed. They are all demigods who were cursed, okay, take a birth in the human form. And they have a curse that they will be killed immediately and they will go back. So he is just fulfilling that curse. That's point number 1. Point number 2 is, unless Kamsa does something very offensive, Krishna will not come. It will further delay Krishna. Krishna will say, okay, I'll not come. Right? So Krishna must be very much, he should feel that he should come now. So he wanted to expedite Krishna's birth. So that's why he said like that. Right? Should not mistake that again. A lot of people don't understand that.
Narad Muni also protected Prahlad Maharaja.
He protected Prahlad Maharaj. He gave instructions to Dhruva Maharaj.
Yeah.
And once 10,000 sons of Daksha were doing some meditation, that time Narada comes and gives them instructions, and they all become sannyasis. Narada becomes, and then Daksha becomes very upset. Another 10,000 sons, they all went for some tapasya to beget sons. Narada gives them instructions, and they all become sannyasis. Daksha becomes so infuriated and he curses him that you will not stay in one place. You will not stay in one place, you will be roaming around. Narada says,
Prabhuji, I
yes.
would like to ask
Yes,
a question. Prabhuji, demons, they usually are very harmful towards the Munis, Rishi Munis, and they would kill the Rishi Munis. Why did they spare Narad Muni?
Yeah, Narada is like a friend of everybody. He's so nice and he speaks so well and so nicely with everybody. But he jumps along with everybody. I mean, everybody likes to receive Narada.
Like Hiranyakashipu Prabhuji, he killed all the Vishnu devotees, but he spared Narad Muni, who in fact was the reason for his son to become a great devotee. Why was he spared, Prabhuji?
Actually, when he was instructing Kayadu, Hiranyakashipu was doing fire, he was doing tapasya, 60,000 years. That's why. That was one reason. He did not directly interact. Even if interacted also, Narada is very friendly to the demons also. The demons also do not have any problem. Because the thing is, he's not showing any, apparent partiality. He's like equal to everybody.
But Prabhuji, the devotees of Lord Krishna, they don't show any partiality towards none. They always soft-spoken and all that. So why were they killed and why was Narad Muni left of all this thing? You are asked everybody, but not Narad Muni.
Right. I'm not sure about the exact reason, but Hiranyakashipu, he wanted to trouble all the Brahmanas and he wanted to destroy the Vedic culture, okay? So he understood that the root of the religious principles, dharma, he saw that it is with the Brahmanas. So he started to kill the Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas. So he saw that, that is the root of the dharma is there. So he started killing them and he stopped the fire sacrifices.
It's not just Narad, not just Hiranyakashipu only, Prabhuji, like Ravana and many other demons. They would kill all the priests and all the Rishi Munis.
Yes,
but they would welcome Narad Muni and they would
because one of the things is Narada cannot be killed also. No, he's like it's given the Bhagavad, he's like super soul. He's like Prabhupada writes, he's like a transcendental spaceman. He can go from anywhere to anywhere in a moment. You can't even catch him. So how will they kill him? So that's why maybe that's why they didn't try to kill him.
That's why you're not harassed also. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Can I just add?
Yes, please,
I think
please.
Ravana, Narad Muni is there with Kamsa, but with Ravana, I'm not sure if Narad Muni is there. And moreover, he's like a messenger.
Yes.
If you want news from somebody, you are nice to that person. So he's like a messenger. He doesn't go like a rishi there or like, they respect him as a rishi. But he, they extract news from him. Like in the material world, when you used to think of Narada, you used to think of somebody who's carrying tales, like. But exactly, Narada Muni is instigating all the time. So even when he goes to Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyakashipu doesn't know that he's the one who's Hiranyakashipu thinks that he saved his wife from the Devatas. He doesn't know that he's preached to his wife also, because Kada was most of the time sleeping and
right. That's a good point. He saved He saved
So he's very
Prahlad.
indebted to her.
Nice point. Great point. Yes.
Somebody who said Narayan or took the Lord's name.
Yeah,
So
yeah. They all know he's a messenger of the
Narayan, Narayan.
See, like, like he's a messenger. तुमको किसी से कुछ extract करना है, you will be nice to him. Na? And they think he's not doing any yagna, he's not carrying any weapon, he's such a harmless person. So they all respect him and treat him well.
Thank you, ma'am.
And he's the only one. So if he's not there, then there'll be no
No,
communication.
if Narad Muni wasn't there, all this would have not happened, and we wouldn't have got such great books.
We would not have got Bhagavatam, we would not get Bhakti Sutras, we would not have get Ramayana. Okay, we would not have got Bhakti at all. Okay, he spreads Bhakti.
Like Prabhupada ji says, in time, place, and this thing, you should know what to talk, when to talk, how to talk, and where to talk. And Narada Muni does exactly that. Like when, how much to endure, where to endure, when to go. Just pinpoints and comes out, and he does everything. He does the needful, like, and comes. See now, like when it comes to the Kuvera sons, he curses them, but they are trees, they can't move, and Krishna gets caught into them, and they get. Otherwise, they would have taken so many births to get be elevated and go back to Godhead. Some places he's there, he shows them the path. So Narada Muni plays a lot of different roles with different people. So we have to understand that one person is neutral. He's like a catalyst fitting into. He's like water fitting into any time, any place, anywhere.
Right. And he's God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for adding.
That's what I understand, Prabhu.
Yes,
and as far as Ravana is concerned, I don't think so. And Ramayana, Narada Muni comes in. I'm not sure. I could be wrong.
No, I could be wrong, Mataji, because I just put it across giving examples. That's all. I may be wrong. Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, devotees. So Narada, some more pastimes of Narada with Krishna. Okay, one of the pastimes, he comes to see what is Krishna doing he comes and sees that Krishna is present simultaneously in 16,108 palaces. Do you remember that pastime? Krishna comes
Yes, Prabhu. He's seeing different activities in every this thing. Somewhere Krishna is worshiping the demigod, somewhere he's playing chess, somewhere he's discussing.
Yeah, how to speak to him.
So, on all the 16,000 mahal, Krishna was doing different activities. And in one, like Krishna washes the feet of Narada and sprinkles the water on his head, showing us what to do when such a messenger comes.
Right. Amazing. Wonderful.
And Prabhuji,
yes.
I'm not sure if it is true, but I think he makes a deal that I will take Krishna if you something like that, and then he takes promise from one of the I guess wife of Krishna to take Krishna with him, and when
there's something like that. Yeah, there's a Tulabhara. There's some kind of thing like that. Yeah, there's a story like that. There's a
Muni to I need something in return equal to Krishna, and then they put tulsi leaf to make equal to Krishna.
Right, that's right. And then also there's this pastime where Radharani, with birth of Radharani, Narada comes to visit Radharani, but Radharani doesn't open her eyes. Okay, but
Satyabhama.
Right, and then Radharani gives darshan to Narada, right? As the Kishori Rupa. And afterwards, when Krishna comes, when little Krishna comes, Radharani would open her eyes. I mean, the first thing that she wants to see inside the material world is Krishna. Radharani opens her eyes only when she sees Krishna.
Even with Rukmini, he tells Rukmini, Rukmini hears from Narad Muni only. More of the incidents are through Narad Muni.
Okay.
Yeah. Rukmini, he preaches he comes and tells about the greatness of Krishna, and that's how Rukmini gets attracted to Krishna. And very nice. Thank you. Okay, so let's see the next one. So we'll see. The next one is of the Gandharvas I am Chitraratha, and among the perfected beings I am Sage Kapila. So let us see Chitraratha. There is a Gandharva Loka. There is a separate planet called Gandharva Loka, where living entities are sing beautifully, and the best singer there is Chitraratha. Okay, and let's talk about Chitraratha first. Okay, so Devarshi Nam Chanaradaha. This is Devarshi Nam Chanaradaha. Gandharvanam Chitrataha. Of all the Gandharvas, I am Chitrata. So Gandharva planet, they sing very nicely there. Okay, so he's also called as Angaraparna. He's a son of Kashyapa. Okay, he's a son of Kashyapa. Okay, Chitrata. So during the Pandavas' exile, Chitrata, he fought with Arjuna and he was defeated. And later he becomes friend of Arjuna and he teaches him Chakshushi Vidya in exchange for the Angirasa weapon. Okay, so this is what happens. That is Chitraratha. And there's another person, Kapila. How can we not talk about Kapila? Right? So Kapila. So what is the speciality of Kapila? Anybody can say what's the relationship with Kapila and Bhagavatam?
Sankhya philosophy.
Sankhya philosophy of Bhagavatam. Okay, there's a canto called Kapila Gita. Very, very wonderful explanation. Kapila Gita. So he explains the Sankhya philosophy, Sankhya yoga system. He explains about the Shatchakra yoga. And he explains how Bhakti yoga is the best among all the yoga systems. He explains about all the yoga systems and he explains how Bhakti yoga is the best. He also explains some of the secrets of Bhakti yoga, how we can get Bhakti. And very wonderful lessons about how the living entity roams. Okay, the complete journey of living entity, after birth, how living entity becomes confused by Maya and does so many sinful activities, go to the hellish planets and takes birth again, enters into the mother's womb, and the Jantu prayers, okay, the prayers of the fetus in the womb, is given in the Kapila Gita. It's a very, very wonderful chapter, Kapila Gita. Lot of information, lot of knowledge is there in Kapila Gita. So Siddhanam Kapilo Munihi. Siddhanam Kapilo Munihi. Among the perfected beings, I am the sage Kapila. I'm the sage Kapila. Right? So that's about it. So yes, so we'll stop here. So next we have some more things like we have to talk about Uchchaishrava, we have to talk about Airavata, we have Vajra, Ayuda, Surabhi, and we have Vasuki, Anantashesha, Varuna, Arima, so many wonderful pastimes, and we have Prahlad, okay? So many pastimes connected with Bhagavatam. How many of you are able to relate that, more or less everything is going back to Bhagavatam? Are you able to relate that, devotees?
Yes, Prabhuji.
More or less every poem is actually going finally there, right, to Krishna. So this is the point, okay? The point is, if you see anything great, okay, let us say you see anything. Let us say you see Taj Mahal or anything, something which is very great, Eiffel Tower, you saw. You should think that, wow, this is the representation of Krishna, right? Anything which is great in the world, anything which is splendorous in the world, anything which is beautiful in the world, don't appreciate the beauty of that person or the greatness of the person or the intelligence or the prowess of the person, but just see, okay, this is Krishna's energy, something like that. You should remember Krishna. That is how we should always remember Krishna. Okay, because Krishna is explaining here that anything which is very, very beautiful, anything which is very, very important, all the opulent, beautiful, glorious creations, they all come from Krishna's spark. They're just a spark of Krishna's splendor. So if Krishna is like a fire, all of these are like small sparks. So based on this, we have to understand how great Krishna is. So if the sample is so great, then how great the original fire Krishna must be. That is how we have to understand. Okay, so we'll stop here, devotees. Thank you very much for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Hare